We encourage you to invite your friends from other brokerages of folks that have been successful at building their own Disney. We are so honored today to have Don McCoy from the Fulshire Chamber. Don is amazing. If you've ever heard him speak, I'm so excited. And if you haven't, you are in for a real treat. Don is going to be talking to us today. He's the chairman of the Fulshire Chamber of Commerce. And he's going to be talking to us today about his experiences and his advice on business-to-business marketing, because that's a great way to be able to build your business, and some things that we can do in our businesses to be more successful in our community. He's very tied into Fulshire, obviously, and everything that's happening, and he always gives great information and feedback in detail. So I hope you have some notepads ready. I hope y'all left your card. And at this time, I'm going to turn this volume down, and then I'm going to turn it over to Don. So please give him a warm welcome.
Well, thank you very much. It's a lot of pressure there. Thank you very much. I hope I don't disappoint, but I was leaving this morning the house, and I said, oh, I have some notes. You know, sometimes when I go do these things, I go, where are my notes? And then I realized, you know, if you really love what you do and you know what you do, you don't need notes. If you're really into your business, you know it like the back of your hand. So. And I always find that if you start reading from a script or you start trying to use notes, you tend to find that you start to lose your place, and you lose your passion, and you lose your ability to communicate. So I want to try to, you know, make this dovetail into what you do for your profession. But I was kind of interested when I read Build Your Disney. Disney is an amazing man. If you ever just read his biography and the things he does, but I pulled up something, a quote that he said. He said, you can design and create and build the most wonderful place in the entire world, but it takes people to make the dream come true. And we're in the people business. The chamber is in the people business. In fact, you can read the old, the dry definition of a chamber of commerce. A local association to promote and protect the interest of the business community in a particular place. Blech. I mean, that's just there. But what it is a lot of people tend to think their business is ROI, return on their investment. And how do I get a return on all the money I put into it? And that's what they tend to want to think. And a good friend of mine, Jack Warkenthien, I don't know if some of you might know him, he said, well, it's not ROI, it's ROR that should be real important. And everybody kind of looked kind of funny. Well, it's return on relationships. And when we started the Chamber of Commerce, we're now 4 years old. I can't believe, Terry, it's been that long. I had been in the event planning business arena up in the Dallas area. I was in film and television. I produced TV shows. I've been involved in a lot of different things throughout my career. Never thought I'd go into the chamber business. But moved back here to the Houston area to be close to my mom, my dad, my brother, and didn't know what opportunities presented me here, but I just needed time to be back close to family. Some of you may know my brother's captain of the Fulshire Police Department. And so I was riding along with him, and you never know when an opportunity might just be right there. So I go to church, so I refer sometimes God puts you in the right place at the right time, whether you believe that or not, but that's just my personal belief. But, and he's also prepared you for every moment in your life. Yes. I think back to my earlier career after college. I went to Stephen F. Austin, and I graduated. I went to film school in LA. I was going to be this actor. Moved to Dallas, worked on the TV series Dallas. I got to work in some films and some televisions. I'm real famous, but nobody knows me. Excuse me, it's a little bit of the cold weather. And you know, when you tell somebody, what do you do? I'm an actor. Really, what restaurant do you work at? Kind of where it comes from. And that's kind of the truth. But I even got cast in a sitcom on NBC as I was waiting tables at a restaurant in Dallas, and the producer, Scully Mitchell, was there, and I knew Scully. And he was looking for a hospital priest, a guy to play the hospital priest in a sitcom called 13 East. It came on around Empty Nest, if you all remember that old TV show. So anyway, I got a role there, but it was quite an experience. And I say that to say this. When I used to wait tables, I enjoyed it. I waited on very famous people, but as waiting tables, it's a grind. And sometimes you try to make ends meet. Where do you go? Where do you go? And then, when I came here to Fulshire, and then my brother took me on a ride along, and I met Cheryl Stalinsky. They were trying to start the chamber. They said, we need somebody, God bless you, and trying to start the Chamber of Commerce. Who are we going to get to do this? My brother kind of just said, my brother's got nothing to do. Well, what experience does he have? Well, I have a lot. I know a lot about a little bit about a lot of stuff, but not a lot. I mean, I can't build you a rocket, but I can tell you how a rocket kind of works. But I can find the person that builds you the rocket.
Yep.
It's kind of like you.
Yep.
I don't build the homes, but I can find the person that'll build the home of your dreams. That's what's important. So they put me in the position as president of the chamber, and we started out, we said we got 15 grand seed money, and we got about 4 or 5 businesses. There you go, get after it. Well, today we're 400 and pushing 450 members in our chamber after 4 years. And I think it all comes from just being in touch. Touching people, being there, talking to them, knowing what their desires are, helping them achieve their goals. It's always great is, I think it was Zig Ziglar, that when you have heard of Zig Ziglar, he says it's, if you help others achieve their goals, you'll achieve yours too. And so that's all relevant across all courses of business. So anyway, when I told you about the waiting tables deal, I think one of my first experiences here, oh, hey, Don, would you be a celebrity waiter at this charity event? It was for the Foster Museum. And I said, yeah, sure, I feel good to get involved in the community, and we'll talk about how that's important too. And that was with raising money, and you had to go wait tables, and the tips that you raised waiting tables is how much was donated to the charity, the Foster Museum. I'm sorry, those potato chips are pretty spicy, just y'all butch those. So I went over there, and I was competing against the former mayor, Tommy Kirkendall, and some other people, and the chief of police had won it the year before. Whoever raises the most money gets a coonskin cap and a big plate with your name engraved on it. Man, I had plates lined up to here. I'm out there serving drinks, getting that, thank you, and just getting all the, I was raising money like crazy, sweaty. But you know what? I knew how to wait tables. I'd done it before. Tommy's sitting there trying to carry one plate and say, here's your drink, spilling it and doing this. But I'm hustling, and the way I made more money is I was so quick on my table, I jumped over to his table and started serving them and getting everything they needed. So I made extra tips doing that, and I won. So I thought to myself, wow, those times I was a waiter, look how it's kind of still helping now. So don't ever discount where you are or what challenges you might be facing, because there's a lesson. There's always a lesson. And you've got to have faith. And it's, faith in your business, faith in yourself, and faith in your God. And not necessarily in that order. Okay? I think I take the latter as number one in my life. Yeah. But that is important, because no matter what, you're going to find you're going to be put in positions to change people's lives somehow, some way. And sometimes you don't feel like it's a great day, you don't want to smile, you have a challenge, happens all the time in our office. It just, little things kind of seem to pile up, and sometimes it's good to go, what we call, go to the staircase. Mom says, you just go sit on the stairs for a little bit and just think, and that's kind of good to clear your mind and refocus. But I wanted to talk to you about the topic here is business-to-business marketing, which is networking. And networking is an art form, believe it or not. There's a way to do it. A good friend of mine in Dallas is a life insurance, this is his story, life insurance salesman. Not just in an office making calls, door to door. Hi, Terry, I'm here to sell you life insurance. You interested?
No.
You interested? Anybody? No. How hard do you think that is? But he found out a way to increase his business 3 million %.
Wow.
Huh? Who said how?
I said wow.
Wow.
Sounds like
Wow, how?
Well, I will say this. Now, I'm doing this because it was a chamber event that I was at. And he said he took advantage of his Chamber of Commerce. But I'm going to say, even though I'm partial to our Chamber of Commerce, there are other ways to do his theory. But his theory was when you go to, he went to every chamber meeting and function he possibly could, where people gathered. Whether it was a network night, what we call TCB, taking care of business nights, or whether it's an event downtown, or whether it was the monthly chamber meeting, or whatever the case may be, he was always there. Now, there's two kinds of networkers. Anybody want to care to guess what networker number one is? The gunslinger?
Just give us your card away right away.
The gunslinger, right?
Open that card out.
Got a stack of cards here. I'm walking in. Here you go. Here you go. Thank you very much for coming. We appreciate it very much. See you later. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Or that's other guy that comes in and goes, "How you doing? I'm Don. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Here's my." We start talking. What do you do? What do you do? Before you even hand the card,
Making relationships.
doing that relationship, and that builds. Now, I got to know you. Now my card means something.
Right.
Your card actually means something to me. And maybe I do that at one meeting, or maybe that meeting I'll have an opportunity to do it with one other person, but not the entire room.
Right.
Still be nice to everybody, but zone in on a couple of people that you want to that you don't know and you really want to get to know. Because you do that every time. You build your own network of relationships. But what that does for you is that increases your referral network. All right? When someone comes up and says, someone says, "Hey, Donna, man, I'm kind of looking to buy a house, and I'm going to, and I'm looking for somebody that really knows the area." I was at a meeting the other day, and I met a lady, Terry Montgomery. She's awesome, and I happen to have her card. You ought to give her a call, and give her my name when you call. You're going to love that when you get that phone call, right? Now, I've just done her work for her, okay? She hasn't even met this person. Imagine that times 10. 10 relationships talking about you. That's 10 people you don't have to go see,
Right.
all right? And then it doubles again and compounds. So think about the importance of the networking art of what you do is building that relationship. You wouldn't be in this business if you didn't care about talking to people. You wouldn't be out here in the public, people talking to you every day, but you hold in your hands a life. This is our home. This is where we're going to build our future. This is how we're going to grow our family. And it's important that you get to know who they are, what they're about. I don't know, and I'm very happy to say that everyone in our chamber, all 450, every one of them I would do business with. I've had no one, knock on if there's any wood left in the world. Right here.
It's not gonna be.
I don't think I've had any bad reports on anyone in our chamber like they did bad business. And if they did, I would go tell them. I will say, example, Legacy Ford. Everybody familiar with Legacy Ford? Patrick Sexton in Rosenberg. Yeah, our chamber has members even in Rosenberg, okay? A lady called me and had a car service there, and she was upset, felt she was kind of ripped off, but the guy was kind of rude to her. She didn't think she got a good, fair deal. She called me. Hey, he's in your chamber. And I'm going to tell you about Patrick. He did this. I'm going to tell you about Legacy Ford. They did this, this, and this, and I'm just not happy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, okay, just listen to everything. And took her name and number. I said, let me see what I can do for you. So I called Patrick. Patrick, don't kill the messenger. Just letting you know what happened. He called her, fixed it all up, customer for life. Okay, that's relationships.
Yep.
How many times can an owner of a business or of a dealership or he's going to call a customer that was in their maintenance department, not even buying a new car, but took the time to do that.
Yeah.
It's those little things that really count. It's always kind of like a good friend said, if you go out and you work hard, play your heart out. Just go do it. As you want to get on that list that Christy was talking about, you got to. It's like in football or any other sport or anything you do. If you don't play your heart out, you're not going to grab that ultimate gold ring at the end.
Leave it on the field.
Yeah, leave everything on the field, because Vince Lombardi, I love him. Nothing's greater than laying. I'm paraphrasing. Exhausted on the field of battle and bloodied and tore up, and then the only thing in your mind is victory. It just makes it so much sweeter. In my acting career, in my film career, I will say I met several actors, and some have been interesting, some have been very inspirational. Probably one of the neatest guys that I've ever dealt with and worked with is John Voight. Anybody familiar with John Voight? A small actor. If there was anybody younger in here, I said Angelina Jolie's father. Then you'll
There they go.
But he was really cool, because he always called me, "Hey man, you're the greatest guy in the whole world." I said, "No, John, you're the greatest guy." We would do that all the time, back and forth. But he often said, the key to life is celebrate the little victories along the way. And even when you lose, try to find some little victory in that loss that you can celebrate along the way. Because everyone wants to look to the big ultimate victory in the end. But they forget about all the little ones along the way. And if you can celebrate the little ones along the way, you're going to find you're going to be inspired on a daily basis. Because I'm trying to make it, if you're trying to close that home deal, and there's this barrier after barrier, and it's months, and whatever, and it's sitting on the market, or however that goes, you get frustrated and upset, and then you're looking to make that big sale at the end, and for some reason it just goes off the market, you didn't get the deal or whatever. And now you're totally disappointed because you put all your effort and energy into that goal. And then now it's hard to get out of bed the next day and do it all over again, right? But how about along the way, how many little victories did you celebrate along the way? Oh, it looks like we're going to meet with, I'm going to have a showing. I have 2 or 3 showings today. Well, that's victories right there. Celebrate those. Because there's the old thing, if you put the energy in the universe where God is, it will come back. And so think about that. Try not to forget about the little victories along the way. That's very important. I also have another thing I'd like to tell you is, I don't know, tell me when I'm done.
You're doing
great. Okay. It's very important is rocking the world with the rocks you've got. I had to notice you touching your Fitbit there, because nowadays with all of our watches, we all do this. I watch, well, it's kind of funny. But rocking the world with the rocks you've got. I've always said that because God gave you a certain amount of rocks. Ever heard the old saying, your mom ever say your head full of rocks? Your brain's full of rocks or whatever. I take that as a compliment because those rocks were given to me. God gave me my rocks. I have my rocks. You have your rocks, you have your rocks, But our society is so busy wondering or jealous about your rocks and what you're getting and what you're doing. You sold that house, I didn't, or whatever the case. That person's more successful than me. Well, when you do that, you're taking the focus off of you and your rocks. And so your rocks are unique. Go find what those are, because they say in my chamber, I have a lot of realtors in my chamber, and it's not a B&I club. Chambers aren't that. We don't have just one real estate person and one plumber and one electrician. And people go, well, that's kind of hard to understand, because they understand that B&I model. And I said, yeah, but in that B&I model, that one plumber may not get along with you, Christy, or was it Donna? And that personality clash may not happen. It may not work. But if I had several plumbers, and you came to me with a plumbing problem, or me as a chamber director, I'm a connector. That's what I do as president. I connect people. But before I send you to just any plumber, I kind of know you, and I kind of know that this plumber might help you better than this plumber. That's my job. Okay. Same thing with the realtor too. I do the same thing. I may have a lot of realtors, but I know Christy's personality. I know Terry's personality. I know Steve's. I don't know all of y'all's personalities. I'd love to know all y'all's personalities, because in my mind it jogs. It always happens. They asked my brother one time, "What does Donnie?" Oh, my name at home is Donnie. What does Donnie do? And he said, "Well, what do you need?" Because if he doesn't do it,
I love it.
if he doesn't do it, he knows somebody.
That's right. That's right.
That's what you can do in your profession too.
Absolutely. We don't need an Angie's List.
No, you guys are solutions providers, okay? Because when somebody buys that home from you, I guarantee you there's about 1.5 million things you have to do in that home. And who are they gonna call? Because they're new to the area. Well, they're gonna call you, but you could suggest, hey, call the local chamber of commerce. Because all those people in that chamber are somewhat vetted. We all know each other. I mean, I guarantee you, if somebody messed somebody over and overcharged them or whatever, it's gonna spread. In this community,
That's true.
with Facebook, that's the other thing.
There we go.
I'm not gonna touch on it, but just know the term fake news in the media and everything, there is fake Facebook too, okay? And there is embellishments.
Yep.
I try to tell some of the restaurants in our chamber, I said, you have one chance to make a good impression. Don't open unless you're ready, okay? Because it will kill you, especially, this is a small town, it's growing big, and the opportunities are gonna be huge. But I think we can still keep it the hometown where we all know each other and we see each other by name. It's incumbent on me, hey, photo time. We suck the gut in. But it's incumbent upon myself as your chamber president in this local area, and it's the Fulshire Area Chamber of Commerce, to make sure that we all try to stay connected in some way, some form. We have several events that we do, and we have several marketing opportunities and several networking events. I invite every one of you to come to any event we do. I like to think our chamber is very unique. I try not to nickel and dime anybody. You're welcome anytime to one of our chamber meetings, whether you're a member or not. Okay, just come and feel the vibe. You haven't been in a while. But we tend to have, we like this, not tend to, we do have some inspirational speakers. We've had Rebecca Gregory, the lady that lost her leg in the Boston terror bombing and wrote the book, Taking My Life Back, very inspirational. We had Scott McClellan with HEB come and speak to us. Pastor Mike McGowan, a lot of speakers on different things. But not only that, the 30 minutes before we start our meeting, it's the second Wednesday of every month. That 30 minutes before we start at 8 o'clock, yes, 7:30 in the morning, we provide coffee, provide you breakfast, but that's a networking golden opportunity. And it is so hard for me to get everybody, sit down, we gotta get started here, okay, you know? But it's amazing. And then after our meeting, they stick around to almost like 10 o'clock, chit-chatting and networking and handing out cards and getting to know each other. You need to be in there somehow, some way. Not just saying in the chamber, but those opportunities are everywhere. I'm gonna say this, try to wrap up, is that when you go out and about in your business every day, I see a couple of name tags. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm proud of all of you for wearing them because you have them on the correct side. Did somebody hear me say that one time, or did you tell somebody? Because I always wear it on this side, because when you shake hands.
Shake hands, it's facing them.
Yeah, you got, how you doing? I'm going like this.
Always on the right.
But also find a way to uniquely brand yourself. And because branding yourself is what is called invitation to conversation. Sometimes you're not gonna wear your name tag all the time. And you know, we go to dinner, you know, whatever, but you're always on. You're always, ABC, always be closing.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. Glengarry Glen Ross, did anybody see that movie? Jack Lemmon, Al Pacino, and there's a scene in there by Alec Baldwin. I don't care for his politics, but it's okay. He's a good actor. But I tell you what, there's a scene in there where he comes in and he's telling everybody how to sell. And he is like, all right, we have a contest, and I'll paraphrase and not use some of the colorful language. But he said, see that watch is worth more in your car. But he sat there and he just said, it was very cool because he just said, you know, we have a contest. First place is a Cadillac, here you go. Second place is steak knives, and third place is you lose your job. And it was very hard on him. There's different ways to motivate salespeople. But I enjoyed that because the dynamics of all those groups in there, they all had different ways of selling. And they always said, man, if I had the really great leads, if you gave me the great leads, I could close those all day long. You don't deserve the great leads.
Right.
You haven't proved yourself yet. Okay, sometimes it's that old thing, you gotta crawl before you get the good leads. Because you know what? If I'm an owner of a business and I have these golden leads, I'm gonna make sure every one of them get closed.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hand them to some rookie that's gonna mess it up.
Yeah.
So there's a lesson right there. But there's your goal. I wanna get those Glengarry leads. But branding yourself, back to that, and I don't want to get off the tangent because I love films, is branding yourself as unique. So when we started the Chamber of Commerce, I said, what makes us different? I told the powers that be, or the people that were in the board, I said, we got to keep it human. With the age of electronics, we can get lost in there with emails. Even though I send out a weekly email and all that, I still try to make phone calls and talk to everybody, be out and about, go to every public event I can. Whether it's a charity event or passing out food the first Saturday over at the church, or you just be out and about, people will start to recognize you. But branding yourself, I said also, we got to come up with some unique logos. We came up with a little horse head, and I'm sure y'all seen that around, hopefully. And we have a sticker on your car that you can put on. We have the lapel pin, and we have it on your plaque and all that. But I wear these pins because when I'm sitting around somewhere, not even working, quote unquote, somebody will say, hey, what's the deal with the horse pin? And they'll ask. It's an invitation to conversation. Has anyone ever started come up to you and said, hey, my name's Don and I run a real estate company, I want to sell you a house, and you're just like, well, I didn't even ask you to talk to me, dude. You know? You're like, blah, 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 blah. Well, if I'm sitting there and you ask me about my pen, now you have invited the conversation. It's called the invitation to conversation. Ah, well, that's my chamber pen, and I belong to the chamber, and I happen to have this company, and I do this and this, and now we're into a conversation, and it ultimately ends up, here's my card, and hey, yeah, there's another relationship. So what can you put on yourself? Now, if you're a member of the chamber, I totally invite you to wear our pin. Everybody gets one, but I'm not trying to recruit chamber members, just to let you know. But
I encourage you to do it.
But I will say, well, if you open that door, well, I'll tell you, the cost per year is $275 a year to be a member of the chamber.
And you get a free breakfast every Wednesday.
Every month. Yeah.
Second Wednesday of every month.
And we just moved our office into Mike Roller's old Remax office. We kicked Mike Roller down the road. Hey, but no, Roller's a good guy. But we're happy to be in his office, and I don't have my desk up in the loft. But to be in the chamber is. Are all of you new into this business? No, okay. How long have you been?
Since September.
All day, huh? Okay. Same September, so y'all are brand new, right? Okay, so if you've been in business less than a year, I also have a deal called our copper level membership, which is $150 a year. It's only good for 1 year. And at the end of that year, you have to move up to the bronze level, just to let you know. But I'm gonna pass out something to show you what benefits you get with the chamber, and I can talk to you anytime about that. But branding yourself, you get a membership, a pin, you get your own page on our website. You have the ability to come to all the networking meetings, and that's important. But one thing a lot of haven't taken advantage of, we have SLN Connect, which is another way to put your social media on hyperdrive. But interesting, I send out an email every Thursday. You should have got it this morning.
I did.
And it's flyers that people send me, and I just put the flyers up and go out to everybody. Now sometimes it gets really long, but Not one realtor in my business has ever sent me a flyer with a picture of a house that they're trying to sell.
Oh, you opened the door.
Door's open now.
Don't open that door 358.
Oh, no, it's
But-
just to the ones in this room that know about it.
The ones that are members.
But I will say,
Members. Stop.
it's only good for chamber members, but I will say,
Fix that.
you also have the ability to go to your page on our website and create what is called a hot deal. And when you create a hot deal, hey, I got a hot deal on a really cool house, it costs this much, and and all your information, and put a picture. And when you send it to us to post your hot deal, and we approve it, because we look at it first, once we approve it, it then goes to our Facebook and goes to our Twitter and to our Instagram in the chamber and gets out there. It's just another way, and it's absolutely free of charge. Rarely has anyone taken advantage of that lately, I've noticed. Yes.
So can anyone go to the Fulshear Chamber of Commerce website and see all those without being a member?
Absolutely.
See,
Yes.
so to me, it's like, wow, that's
Absolutely.
so fair.
Because we're not just a website for members,
Right.
we're a website for the community. And I will tell you, anyone moving to this community, we get phone calls and visits to our site all the time asking us, where do I go? How do I do this? Yes, sir.
And where are the meetings?
The meetings are at Parkway Fellowship Church.
Okay.
In the gymnasium in the backside.
All right.
We started at Young's Asian Fusion, and then we grew into
Yeah,
Thrive
that's how you
Church,
know.
and now we're over at that church. If I have to move to Second Baptist, man, we're going. But we still got plenty of room over there, but it's, we get about 100 to 130 members that show up every month. That's 130 referral sources
Yeah.
for you guys. But it's, thank you for asking that. And I'm gonna pass out something and show you real quick, because this is important. And a lot of people always ask, why do I join the chamber? And this is also this is also could be used, why should I buy a house from you? Everybody get that question?
Sure.
What do you say?
Because I'm the best in the business.
That's
Because you're the best? Let's hear it. What do you say?
Because I give people in the house they want at a cheaper price. I get them below market value.
Or less expensive, right?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? What's another, what would you say?
I just had this and I said, because I'm hungry. I'm ready to put everything I've spent months training on to work.
Okay.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Well, all right, no, there's no wrong answers. Anybody else got something else? Because I'll say, right here, why join the chamber? Visibility. Okay, from the chamber point of view, this gives you visibility by making you stand out in the community, okay? You can be out at all our networking events and things like that. In fact, Keller Williams is gonna have a place at our St. Patrick's Day. You ought to hear what I got planned for you guys. You're now part of the Leprechaun crew. Yes. But
Does
visibility.
she get a segue? That's all.
No, I'm the only segue guy. But networking, from your point of view, I network better than any realtor you've ever seen, man. I'm gonna go out there and find a buyer for you.
Yeah.
Okay? Because the people I know, I go to all these different things, I'm gonna find a buyer. Networking in the chamber, same thing. Deals. Hey, I'm gonna make you a great deal. As your realtor, I'm gonna do a great deal for you. Well, here in the chamber, we have member-to-member deals. Sometimes when you say, hey, I'm a member of the chamber, oh, great, I'll give you a little bit of a discount. I know if you go to Dozier's, you get a free iced tea with your meal. So anyway, credibility. This is important. Credibility, if you're a member of a chamber, okay, let's say when a hailstorm comes by, which is bad to say, but but how many roofing companies show up?
They come out.
All of them. But if that one roofing company shows up and says, hey, I'm a member of the Fulshear Area Chamber of Commerce or the Katy or whatever chamber, that means they're kind of solid in the community. They've been here, they've been established. And they can call me and ask how long they've been. They just joined today, you know. But also that goes with you too. It's credibility. Credibility being with Keller Williams. You have that. So use that to your advantage. I'm with Keller Williams, and here's what Keller Williams brings to your table. That's credibility, okay? The other side, voice. In chamber world, I'm your voice. I'm your voice if you have a problem at City Hall. I'll go down and talk. I know the bandit signs. Don't even get started. I'm working on it. The bandit sign. This isn't even a bad word, isn't it? But nevertheless, all the way into Austin, and I even go to DC. And so I try to keep our finger on the pulse. If anything affects you personally in your organization, I'm gonna shoot it out there. Are you aware of this? She's so smart, she's probably ahead of the game on me on some things. But That's what we try to do, is be your voice. And it's important because if I hear from you, I can go find that solution for you, because we are that connected in the county and everywhere. And then growth. Obviously, you're gonna grow your family, find the right place. You're not gonna have to get another home for a while, or this home is for that. Growth. We're here to grow your business. And that's sort of, so you can see how these things kind of work hand in hand. These are why. So use them. And here, take one and pass them on around. There you go. If there's more, I got more over here. So with that too, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys, do y'all need some more?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes,
We can make copies for you
3
guys.
more. Okay.
Here, take some of these, pass them down.
So Don, tell me, just I'm throwing out questions, so.
Uh-huh.
So if you live not in Fulshear, but live in Richmond, would you recommend, and it depends on where we work, or what would you recommend? Joining them all? Probably. I mean, tell me what your best.
Well, you
You
know-
only have so much time in your life, and you only can dedicate.
Well, in that case, I recommend ours. But I will say, we are, you know, I don't want to brag, I'm trying to.
Brag.
Go ahead,
Brag.
you're supposed to toot your own horn.
Okay, well,
We know that.
tooting our horn. Our chamber has become a real force to be reckoned with in the county. Not that we compete, I know all the other chamber leaders, I know them all. All I can say is this, I'd recommend going to all their meetings
You should cut them all.
and check it out. And if you feel the vibe and you feel it correct for you, by all means, join that chamber. I just know that we try to instill a lot of personality in ours. We try to keep that human touch. We want to be there for you. Call me. I'll sit and brainstorm with you. I'll come up with taglines for you. I'm just that guy that comes up with ideas nonstop. So I've got to get them out of my head. And you know, and it's getting tougher now for people calling. But people stop in my office all the time and need some idea, and I'll be happy to help you. But I really think you'll find ours to be fun too, and you got to have fun. That's so what I in light of, and by the way, we have all of our benefits here, and this is on our chamber website. I'll give you can take one of these today if you want. I'm not here to sell you anything, but what I'd like to tell you is another advantage of being in the chamber too, just so you know. Deals at Advantial Credit Union, which is down there by Costco.
Yeah.
You can join the credit union now. You usually can't unless you're part of a member organization that's part of that credit union. So you get credit union rates, banking, and all that at Advantial. We also have a prescription card, that my mom saves $700 on the prescriptions using, and that's free to download or give you the card itself. So there's all those little other perks that you get. I mean, trust me, before you guys go buy retail anything, call me. I mean, I'm just flabbergasted. You went and paid what for what with who? And it doesn't work? I don't blame you. You called me. You didn't call me.
Fulshear reminds me so much of Friendswood, I've never been Friendswood. And I always tell people, oh my God, it's like that Friendswood feeling, because I've helped with a lot of employees.
Well, I have a new moniker I'm doing for Fulshear, and don't tell anybody.
Okay.
Okay, but it's going to help for everybody. I'm going to try with this after this election. We'll see where it goes and everything. But I want to start a deal called Fulshear, the friendliest town in Texas. Okay. Now, there's probably other towns that'll claim that, but I know we can do it because I know my brother reviews every single video of every stop that they do, and he looks and says, "You didn't introduce yourself, or you didn't do this. You were kind of rude. You weren't nice." Because our police officers are the first point of contact for a lot of people. But the speed limit's not controlled. The speed limit's not controlled by the city. It has nothing to do, and the city only gets 10% of any ticket ever written. And believe it or not, 96% of any citation written in Fulshear is a warning.
Wow.
So
That's
when you
what-
hear other people say it's a speed trap,
Don't test
I was
that.
just gonna say that.
I could use that voice picture. You know what?
Where's my warning?
they'll give you a benefit.
You don't want that picture on social media with your magnetic car sign on the side.
I I do recommend though is I'm on the board of the police foundation. We do have a Fulshear Police Foundation. It's $50 a year to be part of that. You get a sticker and on your car and all that. Not that that help. It might help. I don't know. But I'm saying that along with your chamber sticker. But I would say what's really cool for any of your clients, and maybe another added perk or something that makes you stand out from any realtor. Hey, you sell a house, you buy a house with me, guess what? I'll automatically throw in a membership of the police foundation for you. $50. I mean, included in the closing or something like that. So in the closing, by the way, here's your 1-year sticker for being a member of the Fulshear Police Foundation. Welcome to the community. That's something we can work on, you know. I mean, that's easy to do. That's just little things that make you stand out from the rest of the crowd, okay? So where's Waldo? You can always find him. So be that Waldo. But I want to give you all some of these. This is something I just came up with. I go to Second Baptist over here, and so if my pastor sees this, you can tell him I did steal it from him. They gave us wristbands last 2 weeks ago that said church is. And it's a new thing we're doing this year. And church is fun, church is home, church is community, church is this, this, and this. And then it has just ask. I mean, just ask somebody to come. Just ask somebody to come visit. I think it's really kind of a cool thing. So I sat there in church and I'm sitting there looking at this and I go, chamber is. Ding, ding. Chamber is. Yeah, and just ask. Just guess what the chamber is. So I went and had these made up and it says chamber is, just ask. And it has our website right here. And the reason I say just ask, it means two things. Just ask what the chamber is, because you might know, and if you don't, you can have them call me and just ask. Or just ask somebody to come to the meeting and network with you. How much more fun is it networking with a friend than by yourself?
Sure.
Yeah.
So just ask some people to come. Or just ask, come to the downtown event. You got a client that's looking to buy a house in the area? Hey, you know, St. Patrick's Day, you don't need to come down. I'll be down there, you know. We're gonna have a leprechaun. I know we are. So I'm gonna give,
Here's one of them.
Oh yeah, well you could, do leprechauns have elves? I don't know. Here, take some and pass them around as me. Y'all need more. And I wear mine. And you know what else? What did I tell you guys earlier?
Invitation to conversation.
Thank you, yes. You wear this and don't say a word. And I made them in black with little red, muted red writing, so people might have to kind of go,
What is that?
you know, some guy in a bar going, but you know, it's like, it makes them ask. There's always a reason to think, and I'll show you this too. Y'all can steal all these ideas. I'll give them all. My business card, I've gone through a couple of iterations of my business card, but this is the final one. And these are really cool. This is my business card inside here. I found these little name tags. So,
Nice.
but I did these on Vistaprint. They're really nice. But on the back, I put a place with the social media and all this, but it says notes right there. It's a place to write notes. How many times have you written a note on the back of a business card? And then maybe the pen doesn't work.
Or it's all black and there's
Or
nowhere to write it.
yeah, there you go. So I've tested this with every kind of pen there is, I think, and it will write, but it's unique. Well, everybody can write a note. So, but use it. I mean, just say compliments with Don McCoy. But it is kind of a fun way to just at least have something set you apart, because that is, and even referrals.
Right?
My goodness. Like I said, here's my business card. Nice to meet you. You take it, and then you go out. Somebody asks about a house. Hey, let me give you Don's card, and you write your name on the back. So when they see it, there's that referral. Thank you very much. Could be good for a bottle of wine. Never know.
Right?
Okay.
So I have a question for you, John.
Yes,
The first time I met you, you were working a room, and you went and asked everybody what their birthday was.
I did, and I was going to do that today, but I didn't have that chance.
So tell us why.
Okay. Sometimes when I work a room, I say, happy birthday. I just go to people and say, happy birthday. And you kind of. Other times, people, it is their birthday, or it is the next day, and I get on that. And they go, how'd you know? I'm like, cool. I don't just know.
ESPN.
Yeah.
I always say that one.
So I asked everybody happy birthday. And then so I got a few strange looks and who's this guy and blah, blah, blah. And then I got up to do my little talk and I said, how many people did I say happy birthday to? And the majority of the room raised their hand. And they're all just, I guess you're wondering why. And they go, yes, wondering why. And I said, because every day is a birthday. Every single day is a birthday. Remember when I said earlier to celebrate your victories?
Love it.
Okay. When you wake up in the morning, it's the birth of a new day. It's a brand new day. It's a birthday. So no matter what happened yesterday, my mom says don't go back unless you plan on going there. If you failed yesterday, you tripped, whatever, didn't work out, there's nothing you can do about it. It's over with. It's a birthday. So start today. And the really cool thing, I even told kids in a school I went and talked to, they were all excited because the teachers, I made them all say, listen, when you come into class every morning, tell all your classmates happy birthday. She says, oh my God, Don, they're all telling each other happy birthday before I get class started. You know, I thought it was really cute. But I told them, I said, in the morning, when you're getting ready and you look, does anyone look in the mirror in the morning? Everybody does. Everybody does. So when you look in the mirror, just take a minute and breathe and say, happy birthday. Everyone loves a birthday.
Love it.
And then if you get a little smile on your face, you walk out the door. It's kind of like what that admiral said, if you make up your bed in the morning, at least you've accomplished one thing, right? I still don't make up my bed. My dog still stays in my bed. I don't know, it's a weird, Huskies are weird. I don't know if you guys know that, but they are. But they're great dogs. But he's like a teenager, he doesn't want to get out of bed. Anyway, but yeah, start every day. Happy birthday, and God bless you again. And so, in that, you're so good looking. That I don't know if we can do that anymore. Remember Seinfeld episode? We do that in our office. When someone sneezes, I go, "You're so good looking." It's a Seinfeld episode because he said nobody can look good when they sneeze, right? So why not just make them feel good and say, "Hey, you're so good looking." But now with the age of political correctness, I don't know.
Someone will haunt you from 10 years.
Hopefully we won't lose our personality, and and we can at least take things with a grain of salt in the way they're intended, because I sure like telling people you look great today, and there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think, because it makes you feel good when other people notice.
Did you always remember when they said something bad?
Yeah.
It's like I remember when I was pregnant, like 8 months pregnant, and one of my bosses, and I had on this sweater dress, and God forbid me, he goes, "Whoa, it might be the last time you used to wear that dress." And it sticks in my mind. And it's a friend of mine, he was my boss, but
Oh my gosh.
it's still, but you know what? It's always those little negatives that we already correct ourselves on.
So
I love the thought of
let that go and try to just celebrate it's your day. You're great and
Happy birthday, Don.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not wearing that.
yeah, there you go. And if anybody have any, I do quotes on every week on my emails that come out, and some people like them, some don't. But I don't know. I can't remember even today's. I don't know. Did you look it up today? But take advantage of every opportunity you can. And I'm not just saying the chamber. The chamber obviously has a lot of opportunity for you. I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag on a couple of things, and I'll wrap up. We have several events coming up. The next one is the 23rd of February, and all this is on our website. We have Mr. Dinesh D'Souza coming to speak. And does anyone know Dinesh D'Souza? I recommend you look him up. We also have a clip to his sizzle reel on our website. But he is an immigrant from Pakistan that used to be the president of King's College, was a policy advisor to Ronald Reagan, and he did the movie America, What Would You Do Without Her? Can be a little polarizing. He's a conservative commentator, very conservative. But his speech to us is going to be about the case for capitalism and why capitalism works. We tend to lose sight of the only reason capitalism works is it does a lot of things, and the premise is it motivates, it captures, it gives you the ability to do things you want, and it also helps the charity and the giving part of it too. So we're all capitalists by nature. I don't care what you think. Everyone wants to make a little bit of profit, right?
Yes.
And then with that profit, you can do it. But anyway, this is going to be in Safari, Texas on February 23rd. We will actually get the tickets on sale now. It's going to be a really interesting February the 1st, we're not tied in with it, but at NRG Stadium.
You're celebrating my birthday there?
Is it your birthday?
It is!
Well, I am celebrating it. Yes, I am.
February 23rd is my birthday, so those are some good
I'm going to celebrate both of y'all by going to NRG Stadium. And that is the Get Motivated Seminar. And I've already taken my office will be closed, but Gary Vanderchuck will be there. I recommend, he's a little colorful language, but he's got some good principles. You can find him online, Gary V. George W. Bush will be there. The Shark Tanks lady will be there, a couple of them, so it's going to be fun. February 23rd, then March the 3rd. All these are networking opportunities. March the 3rd is the day after, March 3rd is the day after Texas Independence Day on March 2nd. We're going to celebrate Texas Independence Day at the Fulshear High School Theater with the Texas Opry, the Fulshear Sons and Texas Opry. We just signed Kevin Black and Brian Black to sing, along with Pauline Reese. Mary Sarah's father is the one helping produce it. It's a fun time, good family event. So also great chance to come network because we do a break. How you doing? These are all these opportunities. Then March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. We're calling it the Fulshear 10th Annual St. Patrick's Day Shamrock Shindig. We have, everybody heard of Pete's Dueling Pianos?
Oh, yes.
We have them.
We are realtors.
Awesome.
They're coming downtown. We're setting them up downtown Fulshear. Face to face. We're going to do Pete's Dueling Pianos in Fulshear. And the Keller Williams is the sponsor of the Leprechaun, where the kids can go and claim their gold from the Leprechaun. And he's about this tall, about that big, and but it's a real leprechaun. And so we'll have the bagpiper over there as well to attract people. And so the Keller Williams Leprechaun, Claim Your Gold, we'll have that, and that'll be on all the advertising that's coming out. And we'll have tons of vendor booths and a lot of fun. Great opportunity to walk around and invite your clients to come see our event downtown. Wow, this is still kind of small town homish. Even though they're getting big, they're fun. And now I want to move here.
It's getting bigger.
It
All the
is.
time, those celebrations are,
Well, I tell you, with the expansion of 1093 coming, that's going to change a little bit of the dynamic downtown. It's going to take away a lot of our parking, which is in the Flag Garden where West Side Realty is, I believe. That's going to be gone. So this year we still think we get it all the way through Christmas, but I think next year we're going to have to think about moving it to Charger Way, which is the road that goes down all the way to the high school. But if you look at it, that's a city road, believe it or not. But when you look down, I can just imagine a stage at the far end and just lines of booths and festival all the way down, and people can park in the high school. We'll just have a fun time. That's where our next evolution is going.
It was Aristotle. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. That was your
That was
quote.
my quote today. Yes. Say it again.
Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Aristotle.
So if you love what you do, you can't do anything wrong. Even though I did have a typo in the subject line today, which a lot of people like to point out whenever I. So
It was intentional to see how many people were paying
actually,
attention.
you know that's what I do. When I make a mistake, I go, "You won! Come on by the chamber. You get one of these. Turn it around. Turn it around. Thank you for reading. Absolutely, you caught the mistake. How many times have I misspelled Fulshear to Flusher? I've done it. And I get called out on it, and I said, "You won! You won!" And come on by. And I actually gave away a door prize one time to somebody, and I didn't do it.
A plunger.
Now we also are doing just to jump ahead. 4th of July is coming, and last 2 years we had the Spasmatics downtown.
They were awesome. Yeah.
They were really good, and the crowd was huge. We can't do a parade anymore because it's just too terrible down, too crowded. But we're going to go back a little decade further, and this year we're going to do Red, White, and Boogie. And it's going to be a disco party downtown, and I have a band called Le Freak, and I go look up Le Freak Band out of Dallas. These guys wear the tight spandex and have big afro hair, and they play all those great discos,
awesome.
The late 70s, and there'll be the Journey in the early 80s and all that sort of thing too. It will be a lot of fun, and I'm trying to find a big disco ball downtown so we can have it spotted. Studio 359. Try to do it. But it'll be a lot of fun. And then, of course, Christmas will be the first weekend in December. We're gonna go back to the first weekend with a rain out day, because it seems like the last 2 years we had to cancel. And in between there, we have a bowling tournament, which is a lot of fun. And this one we've expanded. We did it last year, called the Bob. It's the Battle of the Businesses. And we did it at Regal, and it was okay. We sold all the lanes were gone, but now we're going to try to do it at Main Event. And then we have the whole place to ourselves. That is a fun networking event, because you can invite your friends. They don't have to bowl. We'll have the pool tables open. It'll be a lot of fun. But we have all this stuff on our website, and take advantage of anything you can, because we have a networking night coming up. I got them all here, but they're, HEB is, y'all are welcome. They're on February 15th. They're doing their rope cutting. We do rope cuttings. You've heard of ribbon cut. This is what's different about us. We don't do these stinking ribbon cuttings. What you talking about? No, ribbon cutting. We do rope cuttings. And that was another unique way to brand ourselves, because we come from the horse country. The horse is very important to this area. And so rather than have a ribbon, we have a rope. And we cut the rope, and that's welcome to the chamber. Then we take a piece of the rope and we put it on your plaque, your membership plaque. So hopefully it reminds you that you are that small piece that ties our community together. So you put all the ropes together, we should have a really long rope one day.
Nice.
Who knows, maybe one day we'll say, everybody take your rope off your plaque, come down, let's just line it up. Let's see how far it goes. That'd be kind of fun.
That's a great idea.
So, but we have another one, Raising Canes, over here. We're gonna do. They joined our chamber. They're gonna be doing that, and then every month we do chamber nuggets, like chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But it's this is where you can come to our office and learn the software that we have available, the database, and how you can take advantage of the marketing tools that are absolutely included in your annual dues. And where to go and how to work it. It's very simple, but sometimes you might need a little guidance, and we're there for you. So once a month, we'll teach you how to do that. Lotto chances are every week. Tune in on our Facebook Live. We just had our second drawing, and my mom won. That was awkward. There it is. Judy McCoy. My mom won. So it was anyway. And then the Shamrock Shindig, and then of course, April 28th is the Living Well Expo. Now this used to be health oriented, but now we're doing business and job fair, okay? At the high school, we're gonna take over inside the high school. Have anybody been in a new high school?
It's beautiful.
Isn't it unbelievable? Yeah, I'm the announcer at the football games, did you know that? Yeah, so y'all coming in? Yeah, they actually got me a leather jacket coming, believe it or not. That's cool. I wore my leather jacket. I haven't had one in a long time. But the whole high school, down the mall, down the center of that high school is going to be businesses, health, wellness, business, everything. So you guys can be a part of that. And also when you, in the Festival of Lights, the bowling tournament, and that's pretty much it right now. But there's a lot more coming. And like I said, our breakfast is the second Wednesday of every single month, and if you can make that, and our TCBs, that's what I was going to tell you, TCBs, where's our next one? Yes, the 25th of this month. This is going to be fun. TCB, I'm an Elvis guy, if anybody likes Elvis.
Taking care of business.
That's right, man, thank you very much.
You betcha.
You put it on his airplane. He also had a lightning bolt in there. You know what the lightning bolt meant? You're taking care of business in a flash. So, but it's Spring Free Trampoline. Anybody heard of this place?
Yes. Yeah.
This will be good to tell your clients too. Hey, do you need a trampoline for the kids? Well, anyway, over here at La Centera, it's catty corner from World of Beers. So I think we go drink a few beers and then jump on a trampoline. What do you think?
Nothing can go wrong there.
Yeah. So we're gonna have they're gonna have drinks, and it'll be from 5 to 7 p.m. on the 25th. Come on down there and it'll be a lot of fun. Like I said, all this, now if you ever want to stay in touch, and I'll wrap up with this, with the chamber, I know I told you go look here, go look here, go look here, but we have a text messaging system now. So if you text FACC, watch your spell check because it'll flip it to something else. So FACC, which is Fulshire Area Chamber of Commerce, to 57711. You can buy Heinz 57 at 7-Eleven. That's the way I remember. Yeah, 57711. This will put you on our text messaging program. So anytime there's an event, a meeting coming up, a TCB, whatever, you're gonna get a text about 24 hours before that event. Oh, that's tomorrow, yeah. It tells you the time, you can click on it, you take it right to the mat, take it right to whatever. So that's the way to stay in touch. Any questions?
You sold me, man.
Sold you?
Yeah.
I have a question. So we're out meeting with folks and you are so keyed into our community. Just very quickly, if somebody were to call you at the chamber office and say, why would I want to move to Fulshire? What would you tell them?
Good question.
Wow, that's a good one.
That hometown.
Why would I want to move to Fulshire?
Friendliest town in Texas.
See, it works.
I like it, right? It worked for me, I just
And
moved here
it's
from
if we
California.
can pull it
I fell in
off.
love.
Because you know what? I would say, for the most part, it is the friendliest town in Texas. If you take some elements, politically, whatever.
Every town has
And
elements.
just kind of push those underground like the Disney thing.
Right? Oh, yeah.
But I would really think is even though we are growing, we still have that sense of community.
Okay.
And nothing was more evident than when Hurricane Harvey came by. I saw people who were adversaries, politically or whatever, work together. I had a lady hug me that I thought I'd never get a hug from at the high school. And so it's unfortunate that sometimes tragedy's got to bring a community together, but for the most part,
Sometimes that's how.
I would venture to say I could walk past anybody in this town and say hello, like at the post office. And it's still nice to see people hold open a door for a lady. And still nice to see people, if somebody needs help carrying a package in or something like that, people will go out of their way to help you. And I hope we keep that. But that's what we have right now. So why would you move here? I'd say just come to one of the events, you'll find out. Because we look at all the events we've had, you know, knock on wood again, whatever it is we've had hardly any issues. Our police department's awesome. It's the safest community out here. I mean, our police department's fantastic. The crime is so mitigated by the presence of our police department. Also, the Citizens Police Academy is starting up again. That's something else we need to do, because I'm in that too, and that's community policing. Now, if we could just say the friendliest town along with safe and sense of community, the sense of community. But I like what you said, the friendliest town in Texas. So when you go to City Hall to pay your fine or to pay your water bill or whatever, I mean, sometimes I love it when people can make me feel good about paying a bill. I know, hey, how you doing this morning? It costs nothing to do that. And honestly, some of our city employees need some customer service training. I mean, my brother's trying to do that with his police department. I want to do that at the chamber, and I like to instill that in every one of y'all businesses. When I go to a business, if it's a hard day for them, they don't know what kind of day I've had, but I expect a smile. I mean, I go all these businesses in this center here, they're always very friendly and nice. I mean, I go into Green Grove Cleaners down here at the end. Chris is always, hey, how's it going? Where do you get that anymore? You know? I think we can do that. And it's just gonna take the right leadership, the moniker, and I think when we have our new signs out here, why not put those out there? And if y'all could help me rally that up, I'll make t-shirts that say the friendliest town in Texas. I'm gonna start saying it at all the events because I'm the MC, you know? Go out to the football games, the little junior highs that we just did out here. It's amazing. The stands are packed and everyone's talking with each other. And it's that kind of bottle rocket movie kind of small town. We're gonna change, don't get me wrong.
I was gonna say,
We're
Fulshire's
gonna change.
growing though. How do you propose that you keep that feel, buddy?
Well, I know that in the latest demographic, if you guys care to look at it, the PASA study from this summer, it is on our website. If you go to the city tab and then look down and say this demographic study, you can click on there. It'll say that by 2026 we'll hit 75 to 95,000 residents.
Yeah, it'll be like 80.
The Fulshire area, yes. And I know of some people and some ideas of the 900 acres of ETJ we have north of town that reaches up to Rooms to Go, which is in our ETJ. There is some clean commercial that is seriously taking a look at that. If anybody ever heard, not that I'm saying it's Apple, but Apple's gonna spend $30 billion in 5 years on data centers.
Yeah.
Okay, we could possibly be that. There is another data center looking at it right now. Amazon's over there. All that's the hub.
Yep.
Now that would create and help lower our tax burden on the homeowner if we can get that going. Because we can't depend on retail, and the city certainly can't survive on housing permits.
Yeah.
Okay. So your question was, as this,
How do you
as
keep
the
that small
mobility,
town feel?
right, as the mobility comes this way, and you've got the expansion of 1093, the Texas Heritage Parkway on the west side of Cross Creek that's gonna
Yep.
go 8 minutes to I-10, which is gonna help the mobility. 359 is going to develop as well. And Doug Kanopka's area on Boat Ark there on the corner where the farmer's market is gonna develop at some point. But I think where we have the unique ability is, although 1463 kind of has on that side starting to look, we don't want the Mason Road look, but that's where it is, where that Walmart's gonna be. I'm pretty encouraged by the way the Wayfinder signs look. I mean, they don't look too bad.
True.
Could have been worse, you know? And the Barcelona Sports has a little style to it.
Yes,
Raising
Sure
Cane's
does.
kind of looks kind of neat. So they're not just hopefully boxes, they've got some character. But on this side of the road, we can have our planning and zoning keep those architectural designs to keep the look and the feel. There's gonna be a huge median on 1093 as you go to downtown. There's gonna be a committee of residents and business leaders. What's our vision for the city? And they're picking people to be on that committee, and I've asked to be on it. And I can just see when you cross 1463 into Fulshire, we need something that says you're here.
Yeah.
Anybody been to Frisco, Texas?
Yes.
Are you familiar with Stonebriar Mall and all that area?
I haven't been up there in a
Okay.
while.
Well, you go around that town, they have bronze sculptures of cowboys and horses and cattle randomly placed throughout, not random, but they're placed. I go around the corner and there's 3 or 4 cowboys sitting around a campfire.
Is it kind of like the cows were for a while there?
Yeah.
These are permanent?
But I can see right down the middle of our, little horses grazing along that way. So anyway, that's kind of the
Well,
thing.
Katie's got the geese.
That's what I was just thinking.
Geese, yeah, Katie just painted geese up on their new water
They got all the
tower.
bronze sculptures.
But we'll have that identity, but keep Fulshire friendly as time. I'll let this is kind of, I have an idea too, and y'all can be my extras in this movie, because I'm a movie maker too.
All right. Sign us up.
And I've always wanted to do this, but I want to find an old western front town. There's a down there. There's a what's it called? A nursery that looks like an old western town. But anyway, imagine the old west. Remember the gunfight that was going to start out? And you got the guys sitting on each end there, and they're going like this. They know the camera and the music's building, and they start walking towards each other. And it starts out as Fulshire, 1824, And they're getting right, gunfights and everything. So as they're walking down to each other like this, and next thing the music's building and everything, and then they get this close to each other. They actually get like this, and the camera cuts to a 2-shot, and he goes, howdy. The other guy's howdy, they keep walking by. And everybody else in town is walking around like, howdy, howdy. It's Fulshire, friendliest town in Texas.